The monster who saved him. The sky tore open. Captain Rian's escape pod smashed through the alien atmosphere like a dying star, flames licking the hull. Alarms screamed, metal groaned. His oxygen was low. His right leg broken. His chest burned with each breath. "Mayday, mayday," he whispered, but no one answered. The pod crashed hard, tearing through trees, then sliding across dark soil. The hatch blasted open. Rian rolled out, coughing, bleeding, gasping under two strange moons. Silence. Smoke rose into the alien sky, and he was alone. His hands trembled as he pushed himself up. The jungle around him was not green, it was silver. The trees glowed faintly, as if holding starlight inside. Strange bird-like creatures watched him from twisted branches. But there was no human sound, no rescue ship, no team, just the distant thud, thud, thud of something heavy walking. Rian froze. The ground shook gently. A low growl echoed through the leaves. Then a shadow stepped out. She was tall, too tall, at least 8 feet. Her skin shimmered a gray-blue. Muscles rippled under scars. Glowing amber eyes watched him. Not with hunger, but something deeper. Her face was strong, sharp, alien. Her armor looked hand-forged, ancient yet powerful. Rian's breath caught. This wasn't a rescue. This was a monster. He reached for the flare gun at his side, but his broken arm wouldn't move. She stepped closer. Rian coughed. "Please, just make it quick." The alien tilted her head, and then she knelt, slowly, like one would approach a wounded animal. She spoke, her voice low and strange. The words meant nothing to him, but her tone, gentle. She reached into her pouch, pulled out a round, soft fruit, and held it toward his lips. Rian stared, confused. He was expecting death. Not kindness. Not this. Hours later, he drifted in and out of sleep, inside a cave lit by glowing moss. His leg had been wrapped tightly in thick leaves. Something cool soothed his wounds. A sweet, spicy scent filled the air. She was there, sitting across from him, sharpening a strange curved blade. She glanced at him, then stood, walked over slowly, and placed a carved bowl of warm liquid near his mouth. He sipped, tasted like fire and honey. "What do you want from me?" he asked softly. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked into his eyes and said something in her own tongue, slow, firm. Then again, this time in broken English. "You small, fragile, but not useless." Rian blinked. He tried to sit up, but pain shot through his ribs. She caught him before he fell, her strong arms lifting him like a feather. Her skin was warm, like stone left under sun. "Why?" he muttered. "Why help me?" She pointed at her own chest, then at his, then tapped her temple gently. Connection. That's what she was saying. But how? Why him? He didn't know. He only knew she had saved his life. And now he owed her his. The cave grew quiet. Outside, strange lights danced through the jungle, like glowing spirits in the trees. Inside, the human and the alien sat in silence. Two different worlds, two broken souls, sharing warmth in the dark. Rian didn't trust her fully. Not yet. But something deep inside whispered. She wasn't the monster. She was something else. Someone left behind just like him. Rian woke to the sound of water dripping from the cave ceiling. He blinked slowly. His leg throbbed, but the tight wrappings held. Warm steam drifted through the air, and beside him, on a flat stone, sat a bowl of glowing soup. Not glowing like light, glowing like life. She was gone. For a moment, fear returned. Alone again on an alien world. Injured. No tech, no ship, no signal. Then he heard it, footsteps. Heavy, slow, careful. She entered the cave carrying fresh leaves, roots, and something that looked like a lizard with crystal scales. She glanced at him. No words, just a nod. Then she set down the food and sat across from him. No greeting, no explanation, just silence. Rian watched her carefully. She was cleaning a wound on her shoulder, one he hadn't noticed before. A deep slice, She didn't flinch as she poured glowing sap over it. That was the moment he realized. She had been hurt saving him. Not because she had to, because she chose to. Days passed. They didn't speak, not with words. But slowly a different kind of language formed. She would point at things and say their names in her tongue. Zara, she said, tapping a glowing fruit. Rian repeated it. Zara. She smiled. A tiny curve of the lips, almost hidden. When he got it wrong, she gently corrected him. Tapping her chin, nodding again. In return, he began teaching her too. Water, he said, holding up a bottle. She tilted her head. Water. Close enough. Rian had never seen a world like this one. The sky changed color each hour. Soft blues turning to deep purple, then fiery orange. The animals sang in patterns. The plants moved when touched. And Karana, that was her name, showed him all of it. They walked slowly through quiet valleys and moonlit rivers. She helped him balance when he limped. He helped her gather food using broken metal from his escape pod. Every night, they returned to the cave, shared the fire, and spoke with hands, gestures, drawings in the dirt. And every night, he watched her a little more closely. Not with fear anymore, but wonder. One evening, while chewing on roasted Zara fruit, Rian asked softly, "Why are you alone?" Karana didn't answer right away. She drew in the dirt, a rough shape of her people, tall, strong, lined up in rows. Then she circled herself, a mark that stood apart. She pointed to her arms, her muscles, then to her face, her sharp jaw, and finally, she tapped her heart and made an X. "Unwanted," she said in broken English. Rian frowned. "But you're strong, brave." She nodded. "Yes, but not soft, not mate." She stood, as if showing him the truth. Too big, too sharp, not beautiful. Rian stared at her. "No," he said firmly. "You're wrong." She looked confused. He stepped closer, limping slightly, then reached out, slow, respectful, and touched her hand. "You saved me. You feed me. You protect me," he said. "You're more than beautiful. You're everything." Karana looked at him, eyes wide. Her hand slowly turned, holding his back. And for a long time they didn't let go. But peace has a short breath. The jungle birds stopped singing. The air turned heavy. A deep thrum echoed in the distance. Karana stiffened. She rushed outside, scanning the dark canopy. Her eyes glowed brighter, alert, afraid. Rian followed her slowly, heart pounding. "What is it?" he asked. Karana didn't speak. She just whispered one word. Low, broken, trembling. "They found you." Rian's blood ran cold. "Who?" She pointed to the sky. There, above the treetops, were flashes of red. Strange crafts slicing through the air. Symbols on their sides looked like Karana's arm tattoos. "Your people." She nodded. "But why are they after me?" Karana looked at him, and for the first time he saw fear in her eyes. Not for herself, but for him. They packed fast. Karana handed him a makeshift knife, curved and heavy. He tucked it into his belt with shaking hands. As they fled into deeper jungle, Rian looked back at the cave. Their shelter, their start. Gone now. Burned into memory. Karana glanced at him, whispering in the darkness. "Stay close. Never run." "I trust you," Rian said. And he meant it. Because no matter who came for him, he wasn't alone anymore. The jungle was quiet, too quiet. Captain Rian sat beside a small fire, his back against the stone wall of the cave. Karana stood near the entrance, eyes scanning the dark trees outside. Her muscles were tight, her body still. Then a sound. A low hum, then a sharp screech in the sky. Rian stood up, heart racing. "What was that?" Karana didn't answer. She couldn't. She didn't know many human words. But the look in her glowing eyes said it all. Danger. She grabbed her spear and motioned for Rian to stay back. Her jaw was clenched, breathing slow. In the distance, glowing lights appeared through the trees, moving fast. 6 figures. Rian stepped forward. "Who are they?" Karana looked back and whispered, Hunters, my people. Rian's blood turned cold. They're looking for me? She nodded. You are not safe. Karana pushed him deeper into the cave and covered the entrance with a thick, hanging moss. Hide. No sound, she said, pressing her large hand gently against his chest. Then she turned and walked into the jungle. Rian's heart pounded as he watched her disappear. Outside, the hunters spread out. They were tall like Karana, wearing dark armor with flashing sensors. One of them, the leader, growled. He's close. I smell him. Karana stepped into their path. Where is the human? The leader demanded. She stood still, holding her spear. Gone. You lie. No human here, she said firmly. The hunters moved in. You're protecting him, betraying your kind. Karana didn't answer. She just raised her spear. The leader rushed forward. What happened next was fast, brutal. Karana fought like fire. She slammed one hunter to the ground, twisted another's weapon away. Her moves were strong, sharp, trained. But they were many, and she was only one. Rian couldn't stay hidden. He crawled out from behind the moss and saw her fall to her knees, blood on her shoulder. She roared and kept fighting, but she was weakening. No! Rian shouted, running toward her. One hunter turned to him, raising a weapon. Karana moved like lightning, jumped in front of him, took the hit. A burning blast hit her side, knocking her down. Rian dropped to his knees beside her, shaking. Stay with me, Karana, stay with me. The hunters aimed again. But then, a deep growl echoed from the trees. A giant forest creature appeared, drawn by the fight. It roared and charged. The hunters scattered, dodging the beast. In the chaos, Rian dragged Karana back into the cave. She was heavy, but he didn't stop. His hands shook as he pressed cloth against her wounds. Blood, dark and warm, soaked his fingers. You saved me, again, he whispered. Karana's eyes blinked open. She looked at him weakly. You came out, she said slowly. I couldn't let you die. She touched his face gently. You touched me, like I'm not a monster. You're not, he said, holding her hand tightly. You're my only hope on this world. Karana's lip trembled. No one ever fought for me. Rian smiled softly. Then they're all fools. Her glowing eyes blinked, then closed. Karana? Karana. She was still breathing, but barely. He held her tight, whispering, You'll live. I'll take care of you now. My turn. Outside, the jungle burned in patches. The hunters were gone, for now. But Rian knew they'd come again. He looked down at the injured alien woman in his arms, the same one he feared when they first met. Now he feared losing her. The rain fell in silence, dripping from the leaves of the jungle trees. Inside a new cave, deeper, darker. Captain Rian sat beside a small fire, gently grinding strange purple roots Karana once told him had healing power. Karana lay nearby, wrapped in warm hides, her body weak, her wounds still glowing faintly. 3 days had passed since the battle. She had barely opened her eyes. But today she stirred. Her deep voice cracked. Where? Rian rushed to her. You're safe. We moved afar from the fight. No one followed. She winced, then reached for her side. Her hand touched the fresh wrappings. You did this. He nodded, softly smiling. I learned from the best. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. You are small, she said weakly. But stubborn. He chuckled. You've said that before. For a while, there was silence. Just the fire, the wind, and their slow breaths. Then Rian broke it. Why did you save me again? They almost killed you. Karana looked away. You make me feel not broken. No one ever made you feel that before? She shook her head. My kind, we are warriors, not mates. Strong bodies, cold hearts. That's what they say. Rian leaned closer. That's not what I see. Karana frowned. What do you see, human? He hesitated, then placed his hand gently over hers. I see someone who risked everything to save a stranger. Someone kind, fierce, beautiful. She looked confused. Beautiful? Me? Rian nodded. Yes, to me. More than anyone I've ever known. Karana didn't speak. She sat up slowly, breath trembling. Her large hand reached out, touched his face gently. He didn't move. Their eyes locked again. A long, deep silence between them. Then her lips touched his. It was slow, unsure at first, but real. When they pulled apart, Rian smiled. In my world, you'd be worshipped. A queen. Karana's face tightened. I don't believe in love. Why? No one ever loved someone like me. I do, he said quietly. And I think, maybe you do too. She didn't answer. Instead, she curled her body around his, shielding him with her arms as if the outside world didn't matter. That night they lay together, close, warm, quiet. But peace didn't last long. By morning, Karana woke with a strange feeling inside her chest. Something was wrong. She sat up quickly, breathing hard. Her skin shimmered faintly. Her stomach pulsed, softly glowing beneath the surface. Rian, she whispered. He stirred awake. What is it? I feel strange. He crawled over, touched her skin. It was warmer than before. And then he saw it. A soft, golden light pulsing beneath her belly. His eyes widened. Wait, that's not normal. Is that? Karana looked down. Her face was pale. This is not possible, she whispered. My kind, we don't mix blood. Rian swallowed hard. Karana, are you pregnant? She stood, shaking. No, this cannot be. If they find out. He stood with her. If they find out what? They will destroy the child. It is forbidden, a mix is shame to them. I will be punished too. Rian stepped forward. Then we run. We leave this place. She turned, her face full of fear. Run where? There has to be something. A ship. A way out. Karana closed her eyes. There was a ship, yes, the elder's ship, guarded by my people. Then we take it. She grabbed his arm. They will kill you. Not if we fight together, he said. Not if we believe this child, our child, deserves to live. Karana looked down at her belly, the soft light still glowing beneath her skin. She placed a hand over it. Something inside her had changed. Not just her body, but her heart. I never thought I would be more than a weapon, she whispered. Rian stepped closer. Now you're more than that. You're a mother. And I'm not letting you do this alone. Karana nodded slowly. Then we fight for a future. Karana stood at the edge of a quiet waterfall. Her bare feet were deep in the cool stream. The sky above was blood orange, and 2 moons floated in silence. Birds with crystal wings sang softly in the trees. But her eyes weren't calm. They stared at the rippling water, at her reflection. A faint golden glow pulsed in her belly. She placed her hand on it. Her skin felt too warm. Her chest felt too full. This shouldn't be, she whispered to herself. It's not possible. Behind her, Rian watched, worried. He hadn't slept all night. He had seen her stumble, seen her hold her stomach like something inside was burning. He stepped closer. Karana, what are you feeling now? She didn't turn. My body is changing. I feel heavy, alive, but wrong. Not wrong, Rian said, standing beside her. Just new. She looked at him. My kind believe mixed life is cursed. A sickness. Then they've been lied to, he said. This isn't a curse. It's a miracle. Karana stared into his human eyes. Small, soft, but full of courage. You really believe that? He nodded. Yes, and I'll protect it. I'll protect you both. She wanted to believe him. She really did. But her body, it was growing stranger. That night, as they rested inside a cave, Karana woke with a gasp. Her skin was glowing again, but now in patterns. Veins of golden light shimmered across her arms and belly. Her heartbeat echoed loudly in her ears. She sat up, groaning. Rian rushed to her side. What's happening? I don't know, she gasped. It feels like something is waking inside me. He held her hand. It's the baby, maybe it's growing faster. Maybe your body is adjusting. Karana shook her head. This isn't like normal growth. Feels like energy. Then suddenly, a flash of light burst from her chest. A pulse that lit the whole cave for a second. She froze. Rian's eyes widened. And from the shadows, something moved. A noise echoed deep from the forest. Like a siren, but distant and distorted. Karana's face turned pale. That sound, it's a signal. What kind of signal? They know, she whispered. The tribe, the elders. They felt the light. They've sensed the mix. Then they'll come, Rian said, voice steady. And we'll be ready. By morning, Karana's condition had worsened. She could barely stand. Her skin was burning from inside. But the baby's glow, it had formed a rhythm now. A heartbeat, a new life. I don't understand, she said weakly. I was told I would never be a mother. Maybe, Rian whispered. Because your people never had love. They used strength, fear, rules. But this, he touched her stomach gently. This was born from something real. Karana let out a soft, pained laugh. You speak like a poet. He smiled. You make me one. Suddenly, Karana winced, clutching her side. The light flared again, brighter, stronger. A flash burst through the sky. A beacon had been triggered. Now, her people would know exactly where they were. We have to leave, she gasped. Now. But where? There's nowhere left to hide. There is one place, she said, breathing hard. A ship, buried beneath the jungle ruins. Old, but it can fly. You never told me. I never needed it until now. Rian nodded. Then take me there. We'll fly away from all this. Karana touched his cheek, her hands trembling. You don't fear me anymore. I never did, he whispered. I feared losing you. The two of them packed fast. Rian loaded supplies, wrapped Karana's body in healing leaves, and tied a knife to his belt. It was small, but it made him feel useful. Karana leaned on him as they walked through the dense jungle. Every few steps, her body glowed again, like lightning under her skin. But the pulse never stopped. It was steady, strong, the heartbeat of something new, something impossible, something worth everything. Finally, they reached a stone wall half covered in moss and vines. This is it, she said, pointing to the earth. The ship sleeps beneath. They dug fast, using tools made from bone and stone. The jungle heat pressed on their backs. Rian's hands bled, but he didn't stop. And then metal. A curved, dark hull beneath the roots. A buried escape. Karana pressed her glowing hand against a symbol on the ship's side. It lit up, the ship responded. It's still alive, she whispered. Rian looked at her glowing skin, and then at the ship glowing back. You're connected, he said. It's like it knows you've changed. She nodded. This is our last chance. But behind them, in the trees, eyes were watching. The elders had arrived. And they weren't alone. Thunder rumbled through the trees. Karana stood beside the buried ship, one hand on her stomach, the other gripping her spear. Her breath was shallow. The golden glow inside her pulsed brighter, stronger than ever before. It wasn't just a child now. It felt like power. Rian tightened the last bolt inside the ship's engine panel. Sweat ran down his neck, and his fingers trembled. The jungle air was thick with heat and fear. It's almost ready, he said, standing. One last power core and we can fly. Karana didn't answer. Her glowing eyes were fixed on the treeline. Footsteps. Shadows moved between the leaves. Slow, steady, unafraid. Then, a voice called out. Karana, you are one of us. Step away from the human. It was her sister, Valek, a fearsome warrior with blade-like horns and cold, violet eyes. Karana stepped forward, shielding Rian behind her. You shouldn't have come. You broke the law, Valek said calmly. You carry a forbidden life. It is my life, Karana snapped. And I'll protect it. Valek looked at Rian. You've let weakness cloud your judgment. A human is no mate, he's prey. Rian stepped out, blood on his hands from repairing the engine. I'm no prey. Valek's mouth curled. Then die like a warrior. She charged. Karana moved to meet her. The fight was brutal. Spears clashed. Sparks flew from armor. Karana blocked, twisted, struck. But she was slower now. Her body, though still strong, moved with caution, protecting the child inside her. The Elec saw the weakness. She landed a hard blow to Karana's side. Karana cried out and dropped to her knees. "No!" Rian shouted. He ran toward them, grabbing the small blade he'd hidden in his belt. He wasn't a soldier, not even close, but love can make anyone dangerous. Elec turned to him, laughing. You think you can save her?" Rian didn't answer. He threw the blade. It cut across her arm, shallow, but enough to draw blood. Elec screamed and lunged at him. But Karana, fueled by instinct, surged up and slammed her shoulder into her sister's chest. Elec flew back, hitting a stone pillar and collapsing. Karana stood panting, eyes glowing like fire. "Touch him again, and I'll finish it." Rian rushed to her side. "You okay?" She nodded. "We have to go. Now." More warriors arrived, drawn by the noise. Rian sprinted to the ship and slammed the power core into place. The engines hummed, dim, flickering. "It's working," he shouted. Karana climbed into the pilot's seat, breathing heavily. Her hands moved over ancient symbols. The ship groaned, then lifted from the dirt, shaking roots and stones loose. Warriors threw spears, energy bolts. Some hit the hull, sparking fire. Rian helped Karana strap in, then took the co-pilot seat. "We just need to clear the canopy, then we're out." Karana stared ahead. "There's one more problem." "What?" She pointed. A massive tree, thick as a building, blocked their way out. Rian's heart sank. "We can't blast through that." Karana looked at the control panel, then at the child glowing inside her belly. And then her eyes softened. "We don't need weapons. We have something else." She reached out and touched the engine core directly, with her hand glowing bright. The ship responded. Lights blazed. Engines roared. And the tree ahead cracked. Not from fire, but from a pulse of energy, the same kind that lived inside Karana now. The child was not just a child. It was something new, something powerful. The tree split down the middle and the path opened. Rian's eyes went wide. What was that?" Karana didn't answer. She was crying. Tears of fear, of hope, of wonder. The ship soared up, above the jungle, above the angry screams of the tribe, into the clouds. Inside, Rian collapsed beside her, exhausted. "We did it, we're free." Karana leaned back, one hand on her stomach. For now, she closed her eyes. Her body trembled. "You're hurt," Rian said. "You're still bleeding." "I'll heal," she whispered. "But I need rest. And the child, it's growing fast." Rian reached for the controls. "Then we find a place, somewhere safe, somewhere new." Karana looked at him, voice soft. "You risked your life for me. Again." He smiled. "You carried me once, through fire and fear. Now it was my turn." She leaned into him, their heads resting together. Outside the window, stars scattered across the sky. A new journey had begun. The stars were still shining when the ship landed. A smooth, silver moon. Untouched, quiet, endless. No buildings, no tribes, no war cries, just soft wind, open plains, and skies that stretched forever. Rian opened the ship's hatch and stepped outside. His boots touched the pale blue soil. Felt strange, like powder, like silk. Above him, two suns were rising, golden light spilling across the land. Karana followed slowly, one hand on her belly. Her face was pale, but her eyes glowed steady. The child inside her was growing fast. She could feel it, life blooming like fire beneath her skin. "This place," she whispered, "feels gentle." Rian looked around. "It's ours now. No one to judge. No one to take anything away." They stood together, side by side. Two survivors, two outcasts, and something new forming between them. Days passed. Rian built a small shelter from pieces of the ship. Nothing fancy, just walls, a roof, and warmth. Karana helped when she could. She planted seeds from glowing pods she had kept from her jungle home. They grew fast in this new soil. At night, they lay under a sky full of moons and stars. I never imagined this, Rian said one evening. Karana turned to him. You mean peace? He nodded. Or love. Or family. Karana looked down at her belly. The glow inside had changed, softer now, like a heartbeat dancing with light. Sometimes I feel two pulses, she whispered. Rian smiled. Twins. Maybe. Or maybe something else entirely. But peace brings strange thoughts. One evening, Karana stood at the edge of a hill, watching the second sun dip below the horizon. Her expression was hard to read. Rian walked up beside her. What are you thinking? She hesitated. If they come again, my people. They won't, he said. You don't know that. I know I'd fight for you again, he said softly. But I also know this world is hidden. No signals, no lights, no trails. Karana exhaled. I still carry fear, Rian. Not just for myself, but for the ones inside me. He placed a hand on her back. Fear is human, and maybe part of you is human now too. She turned toward him, her glowing eyes softer than ever. Part of me was always more. Then she leaned in, and they kissed again. Slower this time, fuller, not out of desperation, but love. That night it began. Karana woke with pain, sharp, deep. She gripped Rian's arm, breathing heavy. It's time, she whispered. They want to come out. Rian panicked. I'm not a doctor. You're all I have, she gasped, sweat on her face. He gathered water, cloth, fire. He held her hand through each scream. The cave echoed with raw sound. Pain, life, change. And then silence. A new sound broke it. Soft, high, gentle, crying. Not one voice. Two. Rian held the first child in shaking arms. Skin pale blue, eyes golden. Karana cradled the second, smaller, but already gripping her finger with strength. Tears ran down Rian's cheeks. They're perfect, he whispered. Karana, weak but smiling, nodded. No tribe, no rules. They belong only to love. Days later, Karana walked slowly outside, one child strapped across her chest, the other asleep in Rian's arms. The plants had bloomed, bright red flowers with glowing tips. The shelter stood strong, and the wind whispered through the hills, peaceful. Karana looked at Rian and asked, Still think I'm not breeding material human? He grinned. You're not. She raised an eyebrow. You're everything, he said. She laughed. Truly laughed. For the first time in her life. And as they stood there, the twin moons above, the stars dancing, the children stirred in their arms. New life, new hope, a story that never should have been, but now would never be forgotten.